Welcome back to IndieFaith, episode 9. Sorry. Yeah, had a bit of a technical thing there. How are you?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Good. So you guys are here with Jules and Mary. Wow, one episode away from episode 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Episode. It doesn't feel like we've done.
I didn't feel like we've done that many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get straight into it. So our topic today is, why do Pacific Islanders believe that moving out of the islands provide better opportunities? So yeah. That's a hard one without knowing what it's like to live in the islands. But what do you think life is like in the islands?
I think it's more like it's like not slow. You know how here it's so fast paced?
Yeah.
And you're like always like on the go.
Mm-hmm.
Back home it's probably just chilled, and back in the islands it's probably really chilled and just not chilled as in like they don't do anything.
Yeah.
But they have to work for their supper, so to speak. So they have to actually go out into plantations and, they do everything themselves. I think that's how they raise. I honestly would love someone's input on how it is.
Yeah.
Well, we do have our dads. Well, your dad. Does he say anything about what it was like?
He said it's very hard compared to here. Here we have like this, I want to say simple, but compared to there, it's like a lot of, I would say a lot of manual work.
Yeah.
Because they got to work for their living.
Yeah.
So a lot of working on the plantations, building their houses. Yeah. But yeah, that's mostly what I've gotten from that. And it's funny because people here would look at that life as paradise.
Yeah.
And they look at here as paradise.
Yeah.
I think I was talking to Rob about it recently, and he was saying like it would be nice to live in the islands where, when you work, that you reap the reward straight away because you're working for your living.
Yeah.
You're working for yourself. So you're, whatever you do, how you work, how you use your effort and your time and all of that, your energy.
Yeah.
It's to benefit you and your family.
Yeah.
Whereas here, we're working in corporations that's for other people.
Yeah.
So all we get from it is just a pay every week, and that's it.
Yeah.
And at the same time, that gets taxed as well.
And then it goes on bills.
Yeah. And then it goes on bills, electricity, and then food here is really expensive. Whereas, there they can sort of, work the land to provide their food.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they own the land, they own the house, they don't have to pay rent, things like that. But knowing all of that, he's still, like Dad, still sort of looks at it as a hard life there. But I think hard as in, because right now my dad's dream is to go back there.
Yeah.
So if it was that, like, I think it's hard, but if it was like, that kind of unbearable hard, you wouldn't want to go back.
Yeah.
But it's like he finds a lot more purpose there.
Okay.
Whereas here it's like you go work for someone else, and then you come home, and then most of your money goes on bills, and then whatever's left over is food. Yeah. And then it's like it's the same cycle over and over again. Where over there, like you got a lot to do, but that all sort of immediately contributes to your family. Yeah. Or to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would like to know what it's like as well.
Yeah.
Anyone is, around our generation as well. If you've moved to the island, I'd love to know what life is like over there.
I'd love to go there one day.
Yeah, same. I've been once, but it was really short.
Yeah.
And it was for a family thing.
Okay. Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
like to go because I like to experience what it's actually like there. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm really going off like other people, like how their experiences, like, you know, YouTube, Google. So it's really word of mouth, but I've never been there. So
Yeah. But like there's people I know that have gone there for a holiday and they love it.
Yeah.
And they want to keep going back. But then there's people that are from there that say, you know, things like, you know, how hard it is and you don't want to live there. And it's like kind of puts me off.
Yeah.
Like, you know, kind of going there and I like it's confusing.
Yeah, it is. You're torn.
Yeah. But I really want to know why, you know, people in the islands think that, you know, moving out into Western countries will provide a better life for them as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's sort of, and you see like, you know, a lot of, you've got so many islanders in New Zealand and Australia specifically.
Yeah.
And some in the States as well. Why they think that, you know, moving out into these countries would benefit their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think?
I think with my parents, well, my dad, when he came over, it was to help support his parents in Sa. So that's why they came over. Like a lot of siblings, a lot of people I've known, they come over with their siblings or they stay with their siblings and they work, but they're sending money back home to their parents. And that's another thing. I used to wonder what it's actually used for. Like not that I'm against it, but I'd really like to know what it goes towards if there's no rent.
Yeah.
Like what does it goes towards?
Yeah.
Where's the money go? So I think that's why they come here, is to help support their parents, but also because it's so, I think they see what it's like to live here. They want to know what it's like and then provide something better for their own families and their own futures. Because I don't know what it's like there, like, you know, with regards to schooling.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's much work over there.
Yeah.
Because I know tourists go over there and stuff like for holidays, but like how much money do they make?
Yeah. And how much money do they need to survive on?
Yeah.
Like if, you know, the food is from the land and do they pay rent? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd like to know.
Yeah, because they built their own house.
Yeah.
Like, well, most of them they go over there and then they build their own house.
Yeah.
And then they build, you know, they own their own land. Like
Yeah.
that's a thing that's passed down, you know, the family line sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's not something that you have to pay for. Like over here, if we want to build a house, we have to pay for the land and then pay for, you know, to build the house on that land.
Yeah.
And then I think you pay a specific fee as well just to keep that land. Whereas, yeah, like I'm curious as well what the money's for besides flight love and office.
Oh, that's true.
Besides, like, you know, when you have those events where you have to like funerals or weddings and stuff like birthdays, stuff like that. But I think I don't know. I think over there might, like, as a whole, the country, maybe they lack resources over there as well. Like, you know, the hospital's probably not in the best shape. Like, they don't have the, you know, the right resources.
That's true.
The right medicine, all of that. So I think maybe, like, for some, originally they, you know, sent their kids overseas to get the education that they didn't have in the islands. But then over time, like, you know, I think education there has improved. I'm not sure about the hospital though.
I don't know. I've never been.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen never really seen that part of it. But
so what was it like when you went? Is it like here, or is it just straight like island?
Well, that's the thing. It's slowly turning to here.
Oh,
like
no
here.
way.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I got from over there. But I was staying with family. But I wasn't staying with family. I actually we stayed at a resort.
Okay.
That's close by the family home.
All right.
And because so many people were there, then they moved us to the resort. So I think we got the final life kind of thing. So I never really got to experience what, my family went through.
Yeah.
There. It was more, we stayed in the resort and all we got was like, we got this free accommodation sort of thing, and then the breakfast and lunches and all that was put out on the table as well whenever time came. So we just go eat there. But we never got to stay with the family and see where they,
like their way of living.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was more like still the tourist lifestyle.
Yeah.
that we were. We went like sightseeing as well.
Yeah.
But we did visit one family. And they prepared lunch for us.
Oh yeah.
And they actually, like, I heard them go outside and slaughter a pig. But yeah, it's just like, it was almost like they just go kill their stock and then there's your food.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So
cool.
That was the only experience I got from there. They just, like, they have livestock that they, sort of live off.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah. But that was something I always actually wondered, like, why do they think, because we grew up here.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's biased on both parts where they think the other place is easier and where we're living is harder, because I'm the same. I'm like, I was raised here. I think this life is so much harder.
Yeah.
So much harder than over there. But again, I'm never, I don't know what it's like living there. But on our part, it's like, well, they think we have a lot of money, but we don't.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of money.
We actually don't. And we have money, but it's to survive.
Yeah. And it's like, we go to work, like we do our schooling and all that. And then some people are lucky to go to uni and then they get better jobs after, but the majority of us, we just get the basics.
Yeah.
It's like we finish school and then we sort of have to start at the bottom.
Yeah.
And where you start is also like, you don't get that much money either.
Yeah.
And then when you do have that money, things here are so expensive to live on. And, and then we barely knew how to save growing up because there was nothing left over to save.
Yeah.
So to have money to give to, people overseas or family overseas was like, it's so hard to come by.
Yeah. I think that's why heaps of people, I'm bringing it up. People are going to get angry about it, but I'm bringing it up. 90 Day Fiancé with Asuelu and Kelani. And there's been a lot of negative feedback or negative comments made towards him and how he's become, and obviously a lot of people are saying it's scripted, they're not that bad.
Yeah.
Be that as it may, it's sort of, what happens.
Yeah.
So you can't deny that. You can't tell me that you've never had a cousin or a relative who calls you and they're from the island and they're asking you for money.
Yeah.
You can't deny that. That's because it's true.
And it's not always just like $50.
Yeah.
Or $100.
Yeah.
It's always thousands.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, whether it's scripted or not, a lot of people don't like to expose us in that in that light. Or in that sense that our families aren't like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying all of them are, because they're not. But there are instances where there are parents who are sort of like what's happening on that show.
Yeah. 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 I've seen a lot of the comments and most people are sort of at first, for the first one that they put out, I think it was the first part where they were in the house and it was I think Asuelu, Kalani and the sister.
Yeah.
And then on the other table was his sister, the mother and another sister.
Yeah.
And then after that, because that was the first one that got circulated.
Yeah.
And that was when everybody was like, how dare they, depict us in that way, just giving Samoans a bad name and all of that. But and a few of our Facebook friends have agreed as well. Like, you know, that's not how we are.
Yeah.
That's not how Samoans are. But
some of them are.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. You can't deny that, you know, there are like a few that go through that.
Yeah.
You can't say that, you know, just because it's like you're obviously like privileged to not have experienced that. If you're so against it and you've never had it before, good for you.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of families where it has happened. Like, you cannot deny that it doesn't.
Yeah. And there's heaps of actual influencers online, like social influencers, who make funny videos about it.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, you know, you get a call from your cousin.
Yeah.
Like there's ways that people have made it in a funny way.
Yeah.
But now that it's coming out in a way that's not looked at as funny.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't liking that.
Yeah, that's so true. Because like, and all those funny ones, so many people, that's when I see like, you know, 100%. That's so true. Mm-hmm. And then just because this is more in a dramatic sort of way, then everybody wants to sort of get all sensitive about it.
Yeah.
But like, it's the truth.
It happens.
If for it to be that popular among Samoans, it must mean that there's a part of it that's true, whether it's scripted or not. But
like, maybe I think a lot of people are getting angry at how they're like overacting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like the mum being so dismissive and the sister saying, why don't you be a man and get a full-time job then? Like, maybe that's like a lot of the things that people are getting mad at. But I think the essence of that episode is mainly just pointing out that like Samoans from overseas move to another country and they're still sending money over when they make their own families, and then that stops. That becomes the issue.
Yeah. And that was the first clip that was circulated, and then there was another clip where Asuelo actually cries to his mum. Then I looked at the comments, and it wasn't so much like, it almost sort of died down.
Yeah.
People were like saying, you know, that's like, how dare you, blah, blah, blah. People were actually sort of, I don't know. I don't know. It just died off.
Yeah.
I don't know why comments like that. Like, I didn't see any sort of, how dare you, you know, disgrace our culture. But what was beautiful about that was that Asuelu, who was born in Samoa, went to America and sort of realized how hard it is.
Yeah.
And how he's only part-time.
Yeah.
And he can't afford to, you know,
support his own family and send money to his family back home.
And send 1,000. He was willing to give money, but it just wasn't the amount that they wanted. And but I will admit, it does seem pretty scripted, because especially when she says to the mum, Asuelu's mom says to Kalani, like, I don't care about your kids. I just care about the money. I was like, okay, you know, maybe that's a bit too far.
Yeah.
Because I know for sure that they love, you know, they love their kids and blah, blah, but yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a bit.
Maybe people are more pissed that, what's it called? Oh my gosh, I had a point. I did. I think they're more pissed off at how they've sort of sold their souls. That's what people are trying to say. So they're making money off this negative sort of light that they're shedding to the world. That's probably
Samoans. Yeah, true. But like, I mean, in a way, it's putting Samoans on the map. In it, like, you can't deny that.
Because I didn't even watch the show. I've never ever watched that show. Like, I
don't think it airs here in Australia.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think it's only in the States.
Or you can like look it up, like stream it or something.
Yeah, but now that guy's popular all over.
Yeah, all over social media.
Everyone's heard of Asuelu.
Yeah. And it's bull. I would have never watched that show.
Yeah, but that's because, like, you know, it had been popular there, and I'm pretty sure people are like searching for the clips. Yeah. And like, as offended as they are about it, they're still searching it.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is popular.
Yeah. And he didn't actually, like, he's one of the people who have made Samoan noticed. Like, I'm not saying he's the only one. There's heaps of other, like, you know, influencers, actors, musicians, athletes.
Yeah.
So many, because a lot of people didn't know what Samoa was, and now it's getting out there.
Oh, you know what? Like, I think I've said this in another episode. What I was actually proud of was when we went to trip to LA. Everyone there couldn't guess what my partner and his brother were nationalities.
Oh, yeah.
So they kept asking them all the time. No one ever asked me. And normally here in Australia, when I first moved to Australia, everybody asked me what I was. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
They didn't know what Samoans were.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. But like now over time,
Yeah.
people would look at me and they know straight away.
Yeah.
Like when I went there, there was this one American guy that when I asked Rob what he was, what nationality, and then he turned to me and goes, "Oh, I already know you're Samoan." I was like, wow. Like I felt proud because it was like back then people had no idea what Samoan was.
Yeah.
And then now people straight away know.
Yeah.
And like, regardless whether it's I think most of it is positive.
Yeah.
But like even the negative stuff that are out there, you know, depicting our culture and stuff, either way, it's getting us on the map.
Yeah.
I think it's our duty to sort of then twist it and provide more
education.
Yeah. And more positive aspects of our culture.
Yeah.
Isn't it, you know, I mean, I'm so glad that, you know, people actually know what a Samoan is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Like people joke to me and they're like, "Oh, you're Tongan."
Yeah.
So they're just like, yeah, okay. But like people used to think I'd get insulted. Sometimes I still do. It's mainly with my friends because they say it to annoy me because they already know what I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. I reckon Polynesians are known now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like, I don't know how it was back then. I don't know if there was a thing, but there was a thing between Samoans and Tongans. And I remember when I was little, when a Samoan got called a Tongan or vice versa, they'd get so offended.
Yeah.
I think these days, like whether I was to get called Tongan in a Western country, if some Balangi came up and thought I was Tongan or Cook Island, whatever, I'd actually be proud because it's like, they know what countries are in, you know,
the Pacific Islanders.
Yeah. A part of Polynesia or Pacific Islanders. And so like, you know, to be called one of them, I'm like, that's fine. Like,
yeah.
Like,
I think that's for another day too, because I've gotten feedback where people want to hear us talk about the beef between Samoans and Tongans.
We'll do we need some time to research.
Stay tuned.
But yeah, I always like I do sort of wonder why they think that moving outside of the islands would provide a lot of better opportunities for them. And like I get, you know, back then there was a lack of resources and that. I think they're pretty up to date. Like
they're getting there.
Yeah. I mean, when I went there, from what Dad was telling me about from when he grew up, there no electricity, no you know, they didn't have a washing machine or even a toilet. But like when I went there, I was like, man, like they've got all the latest stuff. They've got like, you know, flat screen TVs, fridge, they've got washing machines, they got like, all of that stuff.
So they're probably just like they're getting there.
Yeah. But I think initially were like, you know, ages ago when they did move out, that was sort of like the point of it was to work and send things over, you know, like fridges and stuff. Yeah. But then for me, from someone that's outside of the islands sort of looking in, I feel like there's that beauty and that something about the islands that was unique, that was so special that they're losing, which is sad because I think islanders rely heavily on those outside of the islanders to provide, you know, the resources and stuff like that. But then they're losing, you know, they're becoming another Western country in a way. Yeah. And then so they're losing all of that culture. They're losing, you know, what they were sort of proud of. I don't know.
Maybe it's because we are from here, so we don't know what it actually is like over there today. Yeah. But yeah, I can see.
I would hate, like, to be honest, I would hate to see the islands become one of these countries. Yeah. Like, I don't know. So I always just looked at it like that's sort of some sort of paradise.
Yeah.
And like, you work hard physically and that, but you sort of, I don't know, get to relax in your own hard work.
Yeah.
Whereas here, our hard work is for someone else.
Yeah.
It's more to give money to, all these other people that have are successful. Yeah.
That makes sense.
But, still a positive thing is like, what the ones that have moved out have, really sort of pushed themselves. Like there's a few, I mean, a lot of rugby players, wrestling.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of industries that we're all sort of slowly breaking into, and it's because, they've moved out.
Well, their parents moved out. And,
and their kids are now raised here, and
because it must have been such a huge sacrifice. Because I've watched different videos where different islanders are talking about their parents who have left the islands for them. So they came here, or New Zealand, and they built a house, and they moved their other family members here. I know everyone knows Tofinga. Like if you don't know who Tofinga is, his one was really beautiful where he talks about his he's the only child, but his parents had heaps of siblings, and they came over here, but they'd kept bringing siblings over, so that they all could work together and build their own homes and buy their own homes, which was really beautiful. So I think that a lot of it's sacrifice as well, because being from a foreign country and you can't speak English, but you're making all these sacrifices for your kids and their futures. I know that's part of the reason why they move out. But if there's anything else like that, they like any more of a reason for why they do, I'd love to know.
Yeah, same. Because for me, like, when I look at sort of other cultures, like, I don't know, other cultures that have moved into Western countries and, they've sort of made a name for themselves, it's usually because their country where they're from was like war-torn or like, it was that bad that they sort of found refuge in these Western countries because there's a lot more freedom. Freedom. Yeah. But it was a lot better than where they were from. But for me, with Islanders, I'm like, you came from like, a beautiful life to here. Like, it's not all that here. Yeah. But then, when it comes to opportunities, yes, there's a lot of opportunities here, but it just takes a lot for Samoans to take those opportunities. Yeah. Because it's like, we go from like, for I don't know, our parents who were, I don't know, that moved here. It was more like, you work to live here, but then part of it goes back to, your family in the islands. So it's like they didn't have room for opportunity to take on those opportunities, but then it was their kids that was able to sort of thing. Yeah. I don't know.
Something to think about.
Yeah. But like in a way, I have seen how it's contributed for islanders that have moved out. I've seen like, the impact and how they actually do contribute back to the islands. Like I said, back then, back from when my dad was little, there was no toilets. Now they have toilets. Yeah. Now they have washing machines. Now they have fridges. But at the same time, now they've got all these sicknesses as well. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Is that true? Like, I want to know, like, diabetes, cancer, all of that. Apparently, that was non-existent before, and now it's like now it's a thing there. But back in the day, they didn't have cancer or diabetes or that. But then once they start introducing Western, like, lifestyle and food and all that, now they're starting to. Because I looked at pictures of like all islanders. Back then, and they're all slim. Yeah. They're all slim, fit, and like you can see the hard work on them, what I mean? But then now that, sort of they're adopting the simple life that they think we have here, which is, fridges and stuff like that. Like all of a sudden now they're getting all these new kind of sicknesses in the islands.
Maybe because it was brought in. Because you know how the Spanish influenza, like when that happened in SARS, that killed a lot of people. Yeah. So I reckon it's just, like you said, it went from being like a paradise country to one that's now colonized.
Yeah. So like, in a way, it's a good thing to adopt, you know, some of the stuff that they have here, but then at the same time, that's what I mean by it's like ruining their way of their lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's almost switching now.
Yeah.
And that also comes with all the bad things like the illnesses and stuff like that. Because Dad reckons that like back then, you would cook your food fresh. Like it's all organic stuff. It's fresh. And you don't have a fridge to store it, you know what I mean? To eat it later. Like everything was fresh. But then, you know, now that you have a fridge, so now you can store food in there and then eat it like, you know, next week or whatever. So it's like almost like that's also a bad thing. It's not something they're used to. So they started, you know, eating foods that are, and also like with all these big chains like McDonald's and all that, like it's starting to introduce all these kind of other stuff like preservatives and things that their bodies are not used to.
Yeah.
Because they're so used to eating organic and eating fresh.
Yeah.
It's like here, like because it's, you know, they pump those like livestock, they pump it with full of so much shit that you wouldn't, and we eat that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you don't, you know, like it's not surprising that people get sick with all of this shit. I mean, look at coronavirus.
I know. I'm so over coronavirus.
I know. But, I don't know. It was just a random topic that came up.
Yeah. It's just, I think it's just something we'd like to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do Pacific Islanders believe that moving out of the islands provide, you know, a better life?
Because like I said, we're looking from the outside in.
Yeah.
So this is all we know, like from what we think in our minds, Samoa is just paradise. It's an island where you can just relax. Like not relax all the time, but like you work hard and then you can relax.
Yeah.
And you get that every day. Whereas over here, we have to work every day. And I'm not saying they're not working, but we are doing things that contribute to society here. Yeah. Whereas over there, you're only contributing within your own household and your own home.
They like, you know, all your labor.
Yeah.
You know, all the energy and everything that goes in the islands or what you work for, it actually helps your family. Whereas here, all our labor and our energy just, you know, sort of goes to some other rich guy.
Yeah.
And we just get a little bit of that back.
A little bit.
Yeah, like what Mary said, you know, for us living here, we don't think that this place is, you know, as simple and as easy as everyone thinks it is. It's so much harder. But yeah.
And I don't mean harder as in physically, like, well, mind you, there are families who, you know, they do hard laboring jobs. Yeah. But I mean hard in the sense of just making things like ends meet.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, you can't, it's like almost saying whether, what was the example I had before? You know how some people say like, you know, like women say pregnancy is hard. Which is, it is definitely. But oh no, sorry, that wasn't the example. Wrong example.
Oh,
sorry. The role of a man and a woman.
Yeah.
You know how we were talking about how like, you know, sometimes men think that women's job's easy.
Yeah.
And then women think that men's jobs are easy. Yeah. Because they don't know, it's not 24/7 like raising kids. And then men are like, well, you're not going to work to find, you know, face all these people, whatever. It's kind of like that. Okay. It's like that kind of relationship where people in the islands think it's a lot easier here and we think it's a lot easier over there. But no one sort of knows what it's like. Actually, I would love to know for those that have moved out of the islands to here and have lived here for quite a while, like which one would they prefer?
Yeah, I'd love to know that.
Yeah. Because I know my dad's dying to go back.
Okay.
Dad's dying to go back.
So that means he hates it here.
He does that. I think he does. Because over there, he had purpose and he, I don't know, he was a lot more, like to him, every time he talks about Samoa, it just lights up his face. Aww. And he just like, it's almost like he looks a lot younger. Whereas here, he's just stressed. all the time stressed, and he's just longing to go back there, even if he has to, like, you know, with his own bare hands build his house, his dream house that he wants over there. But I don't know. That's why I'm like, but then why'd you move out?
Yeah.
Why don't you just stay there?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Food for thought.
Yeah. I would like because Dad won't tell me. I don't think we've opened up about that part yet, but I would like to know what other people think.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
I don't know. That was a really short one.
Yeah.
I think it's just more putting it out there what we would like answered.
Yeah.
We don't have the answers.
We really don't.
We're just more like sort of.
I'd love to know.
Yeah. Just so we're not sort of biased or anything, we would like to know what it is like for anyone that lives here. Which one do you prefer, and which one really is the simpler life?
Yeah.
Because I'm pulling my hair out in this country. Nah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this country, but like it's all I know anyway.
Yeah.
So I've learned to adapt to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I look at the islands as like paradise. Like maybe that's where I'll retire.
Yeah.
And spend the rest of my life.
Once COVID's over.
Yeah. Anyway.
Something to think about.
Yeah. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
I'm good, thank you.
Any shout outs? No?
Tell myself.
All right.
Loser.
Yeah, okay, that's it.
Thank you.
Have a good one. We'll see you next episode 10.
Oof. Episode 10.
Love and blessings.
Bye.